Okay, then. Who's left to report out their route? All right, let's see. Dolph.
Too many locker room showers with the varsity team.
I think my route would be, letting me watch gay people on TV.
Hillary.
All-girl boarding school.
Sinead.
I was born in France.
I thought of two.
Oh.
I think one is that my parents let me dress like a Hanson brother when I was little.
Bop.
Two, just Olivia Wilde's existence.
Why, thank you for that.
I'm rolling with the LGBT, looking like we belong on TV. I'm rolling with the LGBT.
Hi guys, I'm Kate.
And I'm Whitney. And this is another episode of Queer Content. The show where we talk about different movies with LGBTQIA plus characters, and we decide how good is the representation in those movies. So the movie that we are focusing on today is But I'm a Cheerleader. So first thing, synopsis of the plot. Basically, this movie is about this high school girl named Megan, and her family is concerned about her because they think she's showing signs of being a lesbian.
Honey, we think you're a...
Lesbian.
And so they decide the best thing to do is to send her to a conversion therapy camp. And most of the movie is focused around her meeting a bunch of different characters at the conversion therapy camp. And they have a lot of different sort of adventures, and there is some romance as well. So, first requirement. How many LGBTQIA plus characters are in the movie? And this one ranks super high.
All of them.
Yeah, literally, I think there's only like 3 main characters who are not some kind of queer. Yeah, there's not many straight people in this.
They're all bad.
Yeah. And so I made a list of all the queer characters I identified, and I got 12 main characters as LGBT. And they are Megan, Graham, Mike, Brock, Sinead, Hillary, Joel, Dolph, Clayton, Andre, Lloyd, and Larry. So a lot of queer characters. Qualification number 2. How important are these characters to the plot?
But they're extremely important to the plot.
Yeah.
They're like the whole thing. They move it forward, everybody. And it all like is surrounded by like their gayness.
Yeah. I honestly say that this is probably the most queer characters I've ever seen in a movie. Maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're super important to the plot. There's only one straight character that really drives the plot. And the rest of them don't really matter.
Kathy Moriarty.
Yeah. And so, extremely important to the plot. And qualification number 3. Is the representation of these LGBTQIA plus characters positive or negative?
It's super positive. I think like it's all teenagers who are recently out or like coming out even to themselves, especially Megan.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Her realizing she's gay is one of my favorite scenes.
I'm a homosexual.
I'm a homo!
Yeah, her voice is so funny. But yeah, I think it's really great, and they do a good job at not making it a fault and not making it something like terrible.
Yeah.
Like the real like conflict is like the outside world having an issue, and they're all kind of okay.
Yeah, I think
it's awesome.
To me overall, I find it super empowering from like a sexuality standpoint and a gender standpoint.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I think it's very subversive the way they deal with both of those things. Because within the movie, they make it seem very like natural and like fun and good to be gay.
Yeah.
Like all of the healthy relationships and the dynamic characters in the movie are gay. Like the straight people are kind of boring or evil.
Yeah.
And also with gender, I love what they do with gender in this movie. How the camp is like obsessed with the idea that being gay is some kind of fault in the way that you interpret gender.
Yeah.
And that like in a heterosexual relationship you have to meet these like very rigid gender guidelines, and It's just so good, the, like, satire they use with that.
Yeah.
Like,
Everything is spray painted blue or pink.
but, yeah, it's hilarious, like, the way that it's stylized like that. And how much they just show gender norms and roles to be just ridiculous. I also found it very interesting that they took such a heavy topic and made it so humorous. Like, conversion therapy has been something that's been, like, a terrible experience for many queer people in their lives.
Yeah, they're still, like, not fully illegal.
Yeah, it's something that still is, like, a
Everywhere.
huge issue in society. And for them to take something as serious and sad as that and to make it funny and
Yeah.
kind of, like, enjoyable to watch while at the same time pointing out the flaws with it. Like, I thought that was very impressive, the way they handled that topic.
Yeah. And I mean, like, all the problems that they show are still the same problems that are happening.
Yeah.
Where, like, the parents are like, we spent so much money on this. This has to work. Like, they're, like, desperate.
Yeah.
And then, like, the camp is just, like, super profiting on, like, making these kids basically, like, mentally ill.
Yeah. And they do show different levels of receptiveness of the parents, which I think is interesting. Graham's parents are the ones that are just like, fix yourself. We don't have time for this. Fix yourself.
It's got to be done by the time we get back to Sweden.
At first, Megan's parents are very, like, unaccepting of her. Also are like, we're going to kick you out if you don't figure out your sexuality. But then at the end, they have the little after scenes credit where her parents are part of PFLAG and are super accepting and, like, standing up.
Well, her dad is.
Her dad is. Her mom's still, like, in a house.
Yeah,
But
her
that
dad's
makes me
like,
happy.
Hello.
Yeah.
No, that's so cute. I think they did a great job with the ending of that.
And also a big thing I want to point out with representation in this movie is a non-gay character who stood out to me, Jan. And so she is at the camp because people think she's a lesbian. She plays softball. She has a mohawk. She presents kind of masculine.
Yeah.
But I think a great twist they put in this movie is she's straight. And she has to go to gay conversion camp to, like, embrace her heterosexuality.
I mean, everybody thinks I'm this big dyke because I wear baggy pants, I play softball, and I'm not as pretty as other girls, but it doesn't make me gay.
They're even messing with the viewers, being like, you just assume this woman is gay because of these certain stereotypes that she meets, but she's not. Well, in a way, I think they did an amazing job with these characters and representation. I think we should point out that we read some criticisms of the movie that they do stay kind of stereotypical for certain characters, especially the gay male characters.
Yeah.
They cling to stereotypes a little bit. And I think that's something we should address because, you know, it is a flaw in the movie.
It's also written by a gay man. Like, despite the fact that Jamie Babbitt is a lesbian and directed the movie, it's written by a gay man who I think has a lot more leeway to be able to play with stereotypes.
True, yeah.
I think the only real problem comes in when, like, the main character is a woman and not a man. Like, I think that's the only thing that's, like, a little...
Because we see the gay female characters, I guess, more humanized, and we see more complexity to them. But the gay male characters, most of them we don't get to know very well. So I see how, on the surface, it could seem very stereotypical, like, the way that they portray some of them.
I think that's the line that, like, people have to draw is, like, who is making the content that we are making fun of when it comes to stereotypes.
Yeah. And they also have that scene where Megan is with them and she's asking, teach me how to be a lesbian. I don't know how to be one. And they respond and say, there's no one way to be a lesbian.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, and that's, like, battling stereotypes, being like, gay people are just people, and that doesn't mean you have to be a certain way or wear certain things or present yourself in a certain way to be part of the LGBT community. And I think that's valuable, especially for young people to hear that. And last thing, we're going to rank this movie out of 10. Overall, how do we feel about it?
10 out of 10 in representation and a 9.75 out of movie quality.
Wow.
This movie is so funny.
It is really funny.
Everything about it, and they're just, like, a stellar, like, adult cast and then, a stellar teen cast. And then the only thing that I could possibly make it a 10 is if Michael Bay directed it. And then 10 out of 10 on representation. I want to see something explode.
She needs more action.
Nothing wrong with that.
So for me, I rank this movie 9 out of 10.
Okay.
I think it's an amazing movie. It's so fun to watch the entire time. The cinematography is amazing. The way they play with color, the way they play with like really comedic close-up shots of people's faces all the time. The acting is really good. The script is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, this man who wrote this script, it's so just, like, real and funny and emotional at the same time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a hard thing to mix together. Also, yeah, it does an amazing job subverting gender and sexuality stereotypes, I think. Overall, the stereotypes for gay characters could be argued a little bit. And the only issue that I really have with the movie is the love story. The main love story in it makes me cringe a little bit. It's just like, so...
But they're also babies, and it's like their first real, like...
love.
Yeah, like, first love is cringy.
Well, thank you for watching another episode.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us about this movie? Also, please like and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more episodes like this. And please let us know what movie should we review next.
Ooh, and in the comments, we'll give a $50 gift certificate to the person who has the best answer to who did you have hanging up in your locker when you were in high school. Pictures are appreciated. Yeah, I got $50.
You're gonna give someone $50?
Yeah, so comment. I'm not giving anyone $50.
I'm rolling with the LGBT, looking like we belong on TV. I'm rolling with the LGBT.
Put it in the movie machine, Mom.
The movie machine?
What's it called? With the VHS?
DVD player?
DVD player. Well, but I was thinking like VHS just came out in '99. Leave me alone. Put it in the movie machine, Mom.
Shit.
What if Kathy Moriarty said that? You whore. Put it in the movie machine. Mom. Sorry.
Oh, you crazy.